writer presenting work of the evening, and thank you all so much for staying here. And thanks again to Raw Sugar for serving up awesome things. Our third writer is David W. McFadden. And I think most of you are familiar with David and his work. David has been making amazing poetry and making amazing poetry available in this country since the late 1950s. 1850s, he corrects me. But I only caught up to his career in around 1958 or 59. He was doing a magazine called Mountain, a little mimeographed magazine that published amazing work by amazing writers. Dave worked for the Hamilton Spectator as a proofreader and then as a crime beat reporter, and gradually segued, or perhaps simultaneously segued, into being one of this country's most amazing poetry treasures. He's the author of about 35 or 40 books of poetry, short stories, there's at least one novel in there, and travel books, and maybe other things that I don't know about that perhaps he's written under. Also, financial advice books he's written under a pseudonym or something. I don't really know for sure. There is at least one book in this room right now that is written by David under a pseudonym. And if you guess that, it's probably that you're the person who brought it with you. Let's see. David is the winner of the Griffin Poetry Prize in 2013 for his book, What's the Score? From Mansfield Press. He was shortlisted for the Griffin Poetry Prize in 2008 for his selected poems, Why Are You So Sad? Selected poems of David W. McFadden. He has 3 times been shortlisted for the Governor's General Award, and I'm hoping this year they will come to their senses. Just down the block somewhere here, so anyone with any influence, please do what you can, because they should win that too. It's been a real pleasure working with Dave on 6 books altogether now, 2 books with Insomniac Press, his selected poems and his collected long poems, and then a wonderful little travelogue that we did through Mansfield Press last year called Mother Died Last Summer. A wonderful book about his travels through England and Scotland with his father in 1992, and his father just turned 100, by the way, and wrote the introduction to that book last year, which is pretty neat trick. And we've done, let's see what we've done. And the poetry books we've done with him are Be Calm Honey, and again, as I mentioned before, What's the Score? And the newest book is, can you hand me one of those, Dave, that new book of yours?
Which one?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. Thanks. So, there's Dave.
I like this one too.
And he also likes this one, Be Calm Honey. He doesn't like the one that won the Griffin Prize, apparently. But, Be Calm Honey, fantastic book. What's the Score is a fantastic book. And this is a really special book as well, because not only does it have the author's photo on the cover, which is such a rare thing, but it collects together about 600 different tankas and haiku that Dave has written over the past 4 decades. So he's been working on this, these forms of writing for all of this time, all of his career as a poet, and this is the first time that there has been a full-length collection of David McFadden's tankas and haiku, and it's always an incredible pleasure to work with Dave and to hear Dave read. And he's my favorite poet. So there you go. So please welcome David W. McFadden.
Yes. Well, that was interesting. Okay, I guess I could start about now. We're in Ottawa, aren't we? Yes, that's right. I'm sure you may have heard that I've been having trouble with speaking. So I'll mostly be reading tonight from the new collection, Shouting Your Name Down the Well. Before I start, I want to say I'm very happy to be here and to see everyone and to be back again among so many great Ottawa people, and especially to be hearing more of the poems of Danny Couture and Gary Barwin. As usual, Thank you to my editor, Stuart Ross, and my publisher, Dennis de Klerk. I can't thank you enough. Tonight our hearts are with Denny. Here are a few...
Microphone.
Oh, sorry. Here are a few haikus and tankas from shouting your name down the well. Hard to be serene when every minute or so another frog of 5 or 7 syllables plops into the sylvan pool. I'll never win a prize for my poetry, but that's only because everyone already knows I need no encouragement. 4 in the morning, a solitary gull cries out over the sea. At first I thought it was you, anguished in the other room. She says I look my age. Why would she lie like that? It's impossible. If I couldn't be me, I'd like to be either John Wayne or my mum. Staggered home last night with many brilliant insights. All I recall is the city's the same as the country, only more buildings. Since I discovered takuboku, my fingers are numb with counting. Anne just reads novels. Ian books about the war. But once, long ago, they read Takuboku's poems aloud at a wedding fest. Ian says that when I walk down Government Street, blossoms fall from trees. Everyone has a rough time of it in this life. A fly in a web, watching the spider approach. How is it different for me? A long time ago, I pulled a thorn from out of my friend Ian's foot. So now anything I need, he gives it to me freely. The mind is an eye. It has its openings and closings. When open, it sees only itself. When closed, it sees nothing at all. Here is Issa's snail, slowly, slowly climbing the old Empress Hotel. Something I've never done before I did today, 4 times, and I'm glad. No one can guess what it was, and I'm not going to say. For a limited time only, click here for a free trip to your heart. When I see things, I always want to draw them. I forget I can't draw. Got my fingernail caught in my zipper. Had to get the library staff to help me get it free. They said, this happens often. When I was 16, George Myers said my hips were shaped like a woman's. I almost died. Now I wish I bought a dress and some makeup. Dad used to tell us not to squeeze the toothpaste at the top. Now he lives alone, and on a recent visit, you know what I found. I'm going to die, so when I write a poem, I keep it simple. That scandalous dress you wore last summer, your heart was as transparent. You stopped by my door to chat a while, and I prayed for a sudden storm. No one can blame me for dreaming we are lying in each other's arms. Summer nights are short, our eyes meet, and already the sun is rising. You have the kind of mind that I don't mind. I hope you don't mind my mind. Who cares if nights are sleepless? I lie awake with sonnets in my brain. I'm my own best friend. If I dislike a movie, I get up and leave. No need to argue, not even if I stay out all night long. Why do we worry? We're merely leaves on a tree. Let the tree worry. Such whiteness, the gulls under the black sky in the early afternoon. Whether or not we are sports-minded, we all perhaps have our own secret batting averages, win-loss records, and sense of the crowd. Such a storm, the wind picks up the leaves and puts them back on the trees. There's a name for those who decide to burn all their haikus and then don't. My golly, am I still alive? It's been years and years. How have I been? My mother has died, and I never told her how beautiful she was. Aspiring, spiring. I will never write it, though. You can have it if you want. Michelangelo's version of the spark goes from God's finger into man's. Why not heart to heart, or mind? Why not heart to heart, or mind to mind? Arm's length funding. Come quickly, I have in my hand a flower that blossoms then fades. Email's okay, but the internet is boring. Better to sit still, all night holding your mother's hand as she prepares to die. The camp guard, in an overcoat up to his eyes, to the prisoner standing naked in the snow. They will never believe this. Practicing my Welsh, I stopped a fellow and asked inadvertently if he could direct me to the nearest decimal point. You don't feel well. You lie down and think about death. Soon you feel better. Born broken-hearted. Only now are the pieces coming together. Poets show the way. The dead don't die, they look on and help when they can. That's all for tonight. Thank you and good night.